Hello, dear friend. Welcome to Frontiers Consultant International. And this is a professional learning content on sales. My name is Muiwa Afolabi, and I'm your host. I'm a management consultant, a business coach, a career counselor, and a social entrepreneur. I'm also a managerial psychologist, a chartered marketer, a fellow of Commonwealth Association of Leaders and Managers, a fellow of the Institute of Management Consulting, and the CEO of Frontiers Consulting Group. Today, I want to share with you on sales. Sales. So I figure you're into sales. You're perhaps a leader of a sales team. You are into sales as an individual, or you're a salesman, essentially. Perhaps you allow me to say this up front that everybody that is making money in one way or the other is into sales, because sales is essentially the exchange of value for value, exchange of value for value. So we have something that is valuable that somebody else would need, and that person is willing to exchange value for. So sales is basically about exchange of values. And if you are in a position to exchange something valuable for something that you need or want that is also valuable, you're in sales. Now, sales is essentially the ability to persuade your prospect or your target or the person you're willing to exchange something with to be willing to get into the deal with you. That means the person must be willing to part with something that is valuable for that offer that you also have that is valuable. And that is basically, by summary, what sales is all about. It's about exchange. And this time around, essentially the exchange of monetary value for goods and services. Is about exchange of money to bring it home and make it more perhaps practical. Is exchange of money for goods and services. So if you are a salesman, if you're into sales, you're a business owner, I'm sure what you would want to learn from this experience, this content and this teaching experience is how you can exchange your goods and services for money. Every business is established in order to generate revenue, in order to sustain the life of the business, and of course, be able to pay your bills and respond to every financial responsibility that is perhaps connected to the business or your personal life. So it's about generating revenue. Ultimately, it's about bringing in money. Ultimately, it's about being able to exchange that good, that product with as many people as possible to generate as much revenue as possible. However, what I'm going to be focusing on as regards to sales today is realistic sales ideas in difficult times. Realistic sales ideas in difficult times. Now, perhaps you permit me to say to you today that this content is not intended or designed to motivate you. No, it is not designed to inspire you, to spur you. No. It is not intended to ginger you. The intention of this content is to tell you and to share with you how to sell in difficult times. It's about answers. It's about what you need to do, which simply means whatever it is you take in from this content, whatever it is you're able to learn from this content must be applied for you to get answers. So it's not about celebrating knowledge. It's about applying knowledge. No matter how knowledgeable you are about something, if it's not applied, it's powerless. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. So whatever it is you're going to take away from this interaction must be applied for you to get the kind of results you expect to get. Now, when I'm saying application, I'm not saying apply 10% of it, apply 20% of it, or 30% of it. I'm saying apply it 100%. However, if it so happens that you're already doing some of the things that you will come across in this presentation, is good. So the ones that are not yet included in your daily sales endeavors, just add it to it, and I guarantee you, you will be able to sell, you'll be able to hit your targets, you'll be able to exceed your set targets, even in these difficult times. What would you want to say are difficult times business-wise? What we want to call difficult times when you're making reference to sales? It's basically a season when sales is slow. We are not selling as many units or as much quantity as is needed for you to be able to achieve your set goals, and your set targets, and your set volumes, or as the case may be. when things are difficult, when your sales line becomes sticky, when it's not moving as much as it should move. Perhaps you're supposed to sell 10 units of your product a day, and you're selling like 2 or 3 or 5. You're not selling as much as you should be selling. So, and it's not because your product is bad. It's not because your product is not up to the quality that is expected in the marketplace. It's not as a consequence of intense competition. It's not based on anything you are not doing right. It's because the environment is not supportive of rapid or good sales, as it were. So we're talking about difficult times now within the context of maybe things that are beyond your control, things that you cannot directly control as an individual, as a salesperson that is living in an environment. And this is what I intend to share with you today. Realistic ways, realistic, practical, realistic, applicable, realistic things you can put into practice immediately that will help you in this season. The times are tough. So the outline, the way I'm going to go about sharing this is to first and foremost, let's share together on the sales environment today. If you're talking about times being difficult, it must be about the socio-economic environment and perhaps some more like political environment and all that stuff. But essentially, we're going to start talking about the environment, because you cannot conquer something you don't understand. You cannot conquer something you cannot comprehend. You cannot win in a sales environment that you do not understand. So it is very critical for you to be exposed to this environment we're talking about. You can be in your own corner. You can be in your own room. You can be in your own space and only have available to you the information about the environment that you avail yourself to. There might be much more happening in the environment, more complicated stuff, more difficult stuff, more challenging stuff, and maybe some good news also in the environment that perhaps if you do know about as a salesperson, it will help your sales effort and make you more successful in your endeavor. So we are going to be talking about the environment. The second thing we're also going to be sharing about that are realistic things are the people you should be selling to in difficult times, in hard times such as we're going through right now. Who are the people you should be selling to? Who are those people that will make your sales effort successful? Who are the people that are going to reward your effort and attempt to make sales? And the last part, which is very critical, and of course, definitely not the least, is the steps you will take in these hard times. And when I'm talking about the steps, believe me, they are not textbook theories. They're not familiar ideologies. They're not, sales concepts and of general application and all that. These are realistic steps that you must take now. Now, the truth is, the steps that I'm going to be recommending may not be necessary maybe a year or two ago, and they may become irrelevant in perhaps another year. So I am explaining and I'm sharing on the steps within the context of how the environment is right now. And perhaps I need to also mention that we're talking about the market context in Nigeria. So to all my audience outside of Nigeria, you can take the learnings from here and see how it's applicable to wherever it is that you are located and practicing sales. But this is within the context of what is obtainable in Nigeria as of today. So we are going to be going through the process of the sales environment today in Nigeria, who you should be selling to today in Nigeria, and effective steps in achieving a sale. So the first one, the sales environment today, the sales environment today. So let's look at it. Let's look at the sales environment today. The truth is, the government, as it were, the Nigerian government, in the last 24 months, just about 2 years, have made attempts to put some things in place to make the business environment more attractive, more conducive, more friendly, and more productive, as it were. And some of the attempts that they have made and some achievements recorded are here. The Corporate Affairs Commission has been restructured and new initiatives and new policies introduced. And I think their operational procedures has been revamped to be more 21st century compliant. And the Company and Allied Matters Bill has been amended. So it's relatively easier to register a business today and to have the information that needs to be gotten about your business or other businesses as it were. So the whole process of registration of businesses has become easier. It's now online. You can easily register your business compared to when before now you have to go to the office and queue, and it requires a lot of paperwork, a lot of paper documentation, a lot of movement back and forth, and even delays in being able to register a business. But today, you can just get on your laptop and check for a name. You can come up with a name and you can Google, you can go to their portal and see if that name is already existing. So you don't have to wait for somebody to help you check for a day or two or three to come back and say, okay, the name you've picked for your business is available or not available. Something you can check by yourself. I mean, that's just one of the so many things they can easily do. When there are amendments to be carried out on your documents and all that, it's relatively easy right now because the bill did some things, the amendment bill did some things. So to start a business today and to get information that is relevant to the corporate affairs, it's easier. That's one thing to achieve. I'll go more quickly. Also, the private sector funded a deep sea port in some parts of the country, I think in Calabar and in Lagos, Lekki, there is this deep sea port. So it's easier to bring in goods and perhaps export goods by sea as well. In Port Harcourt, in Abuja, and in Lagos, there are new airport terminals that have been built. And this essentially makes it easy and safer to move around within the country and even outside the country by air. Within the last 24 months, 13.3 billion take-up grant for community policing, and this is an attempt to address the challenges of insecurity by all kinds of dangerous forces, including the terrorist forces, the kidnappers, and all that stuff. And the government have actually invested 13.3 billion as basically take-up grant for community policing to make your businesses, you're going in and out to be more secure and all that stuff. That's an investment that they have made. Now, you may not be aware also, but there has been a gas pipeline that has been put in place from Ajaokuta to Kaduna to Kano, a gas pipeline. So gas supply has been activated along that particular axis. And of course, many of us will be aware of the various road projects that are ongoing. In a location called Kajola, in Ogun State, a train wagon assembly plant has been put in place. So this is actually to consolidate on the revamped and reintroduced, if I can use that word, railway system that's now becoming more active to move goods and people, cargo and people, to different locations in the country, from the east to the north, from the north to the south, the southwest to the southeast, and all that. Railways reintroduced. There is a transportation university that has been introduced, and where you can teach people and educate people on the professional ways of moving goods and moving humans across places, it is good as well. So University of Transportation in Daura has also been introduced. Government efforts and achievements in the last 24 months will also include an increase in core member allowance to 33,000. The Department of Petroleum Resources also commenced the bidding round for marginal fields. And this is the first of such in the last 20 years. So there's fresh bidding. You know, we are operating to a large extent a mono economy where our dependency is essentially on oil, crude oil, basically. So Department of Petroleum Resources, they commenced the bidding for marginal fields, first in 20 years. At least 3 modular refinery projects were completed in 2020. It's all part of what was achieved in the last 24 months. And we all are aware of the railway line development across the country, new trains, also moving people, moving things. And hey, this has not happened in perhaps 30, 40 years. And it's a welcome development. It's an achievement by the government as well. There are all kinds of youth empowerment schemes that have been put in place as well. The Empower was put in place as well. There's also a policy that's been introduced that has approved the local production of bitumen and other construction materials, some construction materials. So the government in the last 24 months have achieved some things. And I assure you, for those that have been able to connect and take advantage of these opportunities, there has been a relatively new opportunities to doing business and making money, moving goods, moving services, flying better and safer, and being able to connect. And to an extent, also foreign investors are impressed to a large extent by these developments and growth, and perhaps new establishments would have come in to begin to do business and basically making the environment more attractive. However, we're still talking about this within the context of sales. Many Nigerians today are not very excited. They're not happy. This many Nigerians I'm talking about, they're your buyers. They're not happy. Most are not inspired or motivated or even encouraged. Why? Because regardless of what the government has been able to achieve, we are not in a good position when you talk about our exchange rate. And that is the value of the naira vis-a-vis popular currencies across the world. We're talking about the euro, we're talking about the dollars, we're talking about the pounds. And today, the exchange rate of a naira to a dollar is around 500 naira or 520 naira to a dollar. The cost of fuel has also gone up considerably, over 100% increase in the cost of fuel. We're talking about petrol now, including diesel. It's become quite expensive, and there's a major means of transporting goods and people. So it's basically had its impact on the cost of goods and services as well. The cost of fuel has gone up. Food prices has shot up, especially grains, and this can be attributed to the insurgencies here and there, and the kidnapping and the crisis and banditry that is quite rife across some major states in the northern part of the country, where farmlands have been seized and farmers have been killed and kidnapped, and their farmlands have been destroyed, which has brought about a shortage in the quantity and volume of grains produced. And we do not have material input for production for these grains and all that, and even for direct consumption by people. So food prices have shot up completely. I mean, it's tough. Corruption is also taking a dimension that people did not expect under this administration, particularly a lot of news, breaking bad news back to back about corruption here and there. And some government officials have been indicted, and it appears as if nothing is really being done. The processes of prosecution and all that is slow, and perhaps also news about compromise by security agencies and even members of the judiciary to an extent. It's not encouraging news to the people. Now, owing to the various protests and agitations and activities of a lot of people across the country against the government, there's this feeling of suppression that a lot of young people and older people feel. They feel suppressed. Their social media communication platforms suspended. They can't communicate as much as they want to. They feel there is intimidation. You're not expected to say what you feel. You can criticize as you will. You will be clamped down on. So people feel suppressed as well. And the case of banditry, kidnapping, killings, and all that in some critical parts of the north, and now is coming to the mid-belt, and even very strongly in the mid-belt and to the south as well. So people are not very excited about the insecurity challenges that we are facing. And when there's no security, it is not a good environment to grow and to sell, you know, as a business owner or as a salesman. And there's poverty as well in the land. Where there's poverty, it is difficult to sell when people don't have money. Even if they want your goods, they want your services, when there's no money to buy it, it's a problem. And even those that can afford to buy your goods and services, when they have so many people depending on them, because those people cannot afford to meet their basic needs, it generally just stretches their pocket, and they can't afford to buy what you're selling, because they have to take care of their families and loved ones that are gradually sliding into poverty. And of course, failing institutions, the educational institution, the healthcare sector, so many are failing, and things have not been so exciting and interesting for many. The pandemic aftermath, and this is a global challenge, has affected the economy so badly and impacted us as a nation also adversely. And immediately after the lockdown was over, towards the last quarter of 2020, the economy slided into a depression. And thanks to the agri industry as well as the telecoms industry, we were quickly restored back out of a recessed economy. to a progressive one, right? To an active one. So the pandemic aftermath affected the way we do business, the processes, the procedures, employment, and all that stuff was challenged because of the pandemic aftermath. Inflation rates jumped, and it's today very scary. We have inflation at as high as 18.5% or thereabout. It is really, really scary. Inflation rate is, that's the cost of goods and services has really climbed, and it's about 18% right now. Now, the reality is, if by last year, your salary was increased this year by 6%, by 7%, by even 10%, you are still earning in absolute value less than you were earning last year if your increase in salary is about 12% or 10% and inflation rate is at 18%. You are actually earning less than you were last year, right? So basically, that's the challenge with the inflation. Unemployment, of course, the consequence of the pandemic and the impact on businesses is a major one. Unemployment, the ways business has been done has changed. Many companies are now running their businesses online, and know so many businesses operating with employees working from home. And people are now depending more on technology to do their jobs for them rather than on people. So unemployment is on the rise. Many small and medium scale enterprises were shut down. I mean, they had to close down because of the pandemic and all that. So there is increase in unemployment index. Now, a major challenge is the employability of a lot of Nigerians. And this perhaps is not an immediate challenge that it's been building up over time. The challenge is something that I can say was foreseeable, because we're looking at artisans, and gradually the quality of the output or performance or delivery of our artisans in this country has been declining over the years. A plumber cannot do a good job for you. A painter cannot deliver a good job for you. A welder cannot deliver a good job for you. Hence, we as a people have had to depend on expatriates, people that are perhaps better at service delivery to do this jobs for us. Now, what situation has it created for us? We have a lot of Nigerians that are into plumbing, that are into painting, they're into tiles, they're into carpentry, but a lot of people are not engaging them to do these jobs. Why? Because of the quality and standard of what they can do. So many of them today, they call themselves artisans in different fields, but they cannot do the job well. So they're losing clients and losing business. So they have also become, to an extent, dependents. They have become, to an extent, liabilities on those that are earning and have to take care of them, because jobs have stopped flowing in because they're not as good as they should be. Our reputation also as a nation when it comes to cybercrime, internet fraud, and all that is not encouraging. Hence, we have a lot of companies that are into technology, into information technology, into things that have softwares and all that, putting restrictions on Nigeria, and so many things that are available, so many apps that are available, so many opportunities available for people outside of this country to make money, to do businesses, and to explore the opportunities available in the internet world today. Do not have it because of restrictions that all these managers and owners of the internet world are put in place against Nigeria. Why? Because of our reputation when it comes to scam and cybercrime and all that. And it's affecting our processes, our procedures. It's more stringent, and even our ability to make money from this industry. It's a challenge. Of course, we all know about the agitations because there's disunity that it has taken ethnic patterns and even religious dimensions, and there are agitations for secessions. People want independence and autonomy of their regions, of their tribe and all that. And it's not been a very palatable experience for a lot of people. Also, impunity. And thanks to social media, showing off all kinds of things happening in different parts of the country. I see quite a number of people that cannot afford to eat 3 square meals. And they're looking at images, and they're looking at videos of people that are throwing money foreign currency, local currency, throwing money all around the place and stepping on it, parties, lavish parties and all that. And it's feeding people's greed and people's desperation to make money by hook or by crook, and all kinds of ills and evil is being promoted amongst young people today and desperate people because of the lavish display and rife display of impunity and irresponsibility with funds that everybody can afford to see and engage with, particularly on social media. And we are dealing with a lot of social crisis in that we are looking at our moral standards and our moral credibility, and we see more people willing to offer, perhaps the ladies, gender favors for what they want rather than create goods and services and valuable stuff for people to pay for. No, they're willing to perhaps offer themselves as feminine gender and even the male gender as well in exchange for favors and for funds and all that. And that is essentially a direct hit on the fabric of our morality as a people. This does not lead to any form of growth in the economy or any form of value adding to our GDP as a nation. So these are some of the challenges that have perhaps brought about the hardship that we're talking about, and the reason why a lot of people today have found themselves in situations where they cannot afford to buy stuff. Insecurity, economic recession, inflation, unemployment, no jobs, lack of capacity, lack of employable graduates, dying businesses, all this. We're talking about a nation with about 200 million citizens. I look at the numbers and think it should be easy for you to sell if you have at least another 200 million. If you have 10 million people buying from you, if you have 3 million people buying from you, if you have 2 million, if you have 100,000 people buying from you, if you have 5,000 customers, you should be okay. But do you have 5,000 customers? Do you have 5,000 customers? Do you have 100 customers? Do you have 20 customers out of 200 million citizens? And that's basically the challenge. So it's not always about the numbers. It's not always about the population. It's about the quality of the population. When we're talking about quality, we're talking about the capacity to be productive, the capacity to earn, the capacity to be called human capital and not human citizens. Human capital are productive citizens. Human citizens are dependent people. And it appears as if Nigeria has got more of human citizens than human capital. How many people are truly productive? Because there is this misunderstanding that we have as a people. Being busy, being hardworking is not the same as being productive. Being productive is the activities that leads to productivity, because it is productivity that attracts revenue, not hard work, not sweat, not labor. A lot of Nigerians, I assure you, are active. A lot of Nigerians, I promise you, are hardworking. The challenge is many are not productive. They're not coming up with goods and services that are compelling enough, that are quality enough, that are attractive enough for many people within the country and outside the country to want to exchange their hard-earned funds for. So today's average Nigeria, we're talking about 200 million people. Who are the people you want to sell to? So today's average Nigerian, and this, of course, represents the majority of the people in the country. Today's average Nigerian is unhappy. The average Nigerian is frustrated. The average Nigerian is stressed. They feel abandoned. They feel rejected. They're tired. They're tired. Very sensitive as well. They're broke. Many people are broke and they're afraid. So your typical buyer, the man you want to sell to, the woman you want to sell to, the youth you want to sell to, the adult you want to sell to, the student you want to sell to, the businessman you want to sell to, the man in paid employment you want to sell to, today is unhappy. and frustrated and stressed and feels abandoned, is tired, sensitive, broke, and afraid, and has been nursing hope against hope, hope against hope, that things will get better. One day, someday, things will get better. But with the way things look today, the hope seems to be waning. They're tired. And that's the mindset of your typical buyer. Maybe we should drive this further. So you have people that, regardless, in compounding the external factors of feeling cheated, feeling oppressed, feeling abused, and the stress and all that, internally, as a consequence of this, they've had to deal with fear of losing their employment. Every day, many people wake up and go to work, not sure if by next month, if by next week, if by next 2 months, they'll still be employed and still be able to earn an income. A financial crisis, responsibilities growing without regard to how their finances is growing. The salaries can't cover their bills anymore. They have to pay rent. They have to transport and move from place to place. The cost of transportation that was perhaps 2 years ago, 200 naira, is now as much as 700 naira to 1,000 naira to move from place to place. And their salary has not been increased by 300% or 400%. So they're spending more on transportation, and their salary has not been increased at the same ratio. So on the account of this, there's of course relationship failures. People are stressed and people are sensitive. So hearts are getting broken. Marriages are getting scattered. Sibling rivalry. Parents are frustrated. Children are frustrated. Relationship failures. Friendships have been destroyed. People see people as parasites. People see people as being exploitative. People see people as greedy. People see people as manipulative. Why? Things are tough. So relationship failures. So with psychological impact and blows here and there. And of course, health crisis. And eat healthy. The environment is not clean and healthy. You cannot afford good health care services. You're ill, you can't go to the hospital, you're going to a chemist. You can't even afford a test in a good hospital. Health crisis. So they're sad, they're unhappy. They're not well. Mental health challenges as well. Depression, frustration, hurt. And of course, loss of loved ones. Many killed, many dying of cardiac arrest, blood pressure, stroke, some to robbery, some to kidnapping, some to banditry, some to terrorist attacks, loss of loved ones. Of course, I mentioned robbery. Traveling now, you're not safe. Can be kidnapped. Many are holding on to religion and faith. And in recent times, even this institution has been subject to certain kind of public court. And they see many religious leaders as exploiters, as not being sincere, as exploitative, and as cheats. And even the trust for religious leaders and the faith is being shredded, and people don't trust them no more. So many people. And many are suffering rejection from their loved ones, rejection by employers, rejection by the government, rejection. They feel rejected in their attempt to sell. They feel rejected by their potential buyers. And many every day go through vile criticism. You're suffering because you're not hardworking enough. You're suffering because you don't have the right qualification. You're suffering because you're not determined enough. You're suffering because you don't want to play ball. You're suffering because you don't want to offer your body. You're suffering because you don't want to bribe. Vile criticism. And of course, no one's perfect. We have our personal weaknesses. We end up perfect. So we make our mistakes. We have our errors. We have our frailties and all that. And we feel very, very, very guilty about this. And many get into that time in their lives, midlife crisis, and they're asking themselves, have I failed in life? And the age for this is becoming younger. And at 25, at 26, at 30, you're still in your parents' house, you feel like a failure. At 38, you're still single and unmarried because you don't have what it takes, you feel like a failure. You can't pay the bills of your kids in school, you feel like a failure. And many are daily anxious and worried about their old age poverty at old age. And many are daily living with the fear of death. Yes, death. People younger have died suddenly. People their age mates died suddenly. People a little older have died suddenly. They've lost parents on suddenly, friends and all that. Afraid of death. Now, this is the mind of your potential buyer, ladies and gentlemen. These are the things they are dealing with. Now, ask yourself, how do I take my product and penetrate the mind of this kind of person? How do I do it? So against this backdrop, against all this, in view of all these challenges, in view of all this that I've been able to analyze, trying to paint a picture of the environment, the Nigerian environment, where you're trying to sell, who should you be selling to? That's a second subtitle in our content outline. Who should you be selling to? So people are frustrated, people are stressed out, people are angry, people are broke, people are unemployed, people are afraid, people are anxious, people have suffered rejection, people are going through emotional crisis, people are going through mental pressures, people are going through so much. How do you get them to buy from you? You have to sell. You also need the money. You need people to buy from you. How do you do it? So let's go. Who you should be selling to. Now, before you even begin to think of who to sell to, you must dwell very strongly. And I want to give this personal advice. You must dwell very strongly, meditate very strongly, and pay attention to what you are selling. So let me tell you this truth. You cannot sell successfully a product you do not like. It is difficult to sell a product you don't like. It is difficult to sell a product you don't trust. It is difficult to sell a product you don't believe in. So I'm giving this counsel and advice as a business person or as a salesperson. The number one quality of a good salesman is that he or she is in love with what he or she is selling. Passion cannot be triggered or inspired for something you don't like or you disdain. You can't sell a product you do not like. If you don't fancy cars, you can't sell cars. If you don't fancy clothes, you can't sell clothes. If you don't love shoes, you can't sell shoes. You can't sell successfully a product or a service that you do not love. So if you are today working in an organization as a salesperson, and you do not like the product that the company is selling or you've been required to sell, the tendency for you to fail at making sales or hitting your target with that product is high. You will most likely fail because you're not excited, you're not enthusiastic, and the spirit of the environment, the energy is not positive because you don't like what you sell. So to know who to sell to, the place to start from is this thing that I'm selling, this product I'm selling, these services that I want to sell. Do I love it? Can I buy it? And that's another common thing. I've had quite a number of people come to me trying to sell to me, and they are trying to convince me to buy out of empathy. Please, I've not hit my target. Please buy this product so that I can hit my target. That's not just sales, that's begging. You don't try to get people to buy your products because they need to help you hit your target. There's a satisfaction, there's a fulfillment that comes to you being able to sell something you love. But look at the product that you are selling. If you are the customer, will you buy it? In terms of quality, in terms of the value, in terms of the price, will you buy it? If you don't believe in the quality, if you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in the price at which you're selling it to the people, you'll find it difficult to sell because you would always agree with the rejection of your potential buyer. You will agree with their excuses. You will agree with their objections because you're already nursing that same objection as they're going to sell. You want to go and sell a dress that you do not like. You want to go and sell a pair of shoes that you do not like. You don't like the color, you don't like the shape, you don't like the style. And you go up to a potential buyer and say, hey, I have shoes to sell. And that potential buyer is basically just raising what you already have in mind as an objection to that product as factors for rejection. No, I don't like the color. You also don't like the color. No, I don't like the shape. You also don't like the shape. No, I don't like the style. You also don't like the style. It will be easy for that particular potential buyer to defeat you at the debate to either buy or not buy, because you already in your mind agree with the buyer or the potential buyer that the product should not be bought or sold. So the failure has already started with your own opinion and belief and conviction about what you're selling. So a big question to you, and if you want to sell, especially in tough times when purchase is extremely low with the people and there's competition out there, aggressive as well. So number one thing you need to ask and tell yourself is, what I'm selling, do I love it? Do I like it? Do I believe in it? Or I just want the employment? It's a good place to start. Now, I think the second point I want to make for you to be successful at this time, and I said it at the start of this presentation, that don't see this as a presentation designed to encourage you or motivate you or inspire you or spur you on. This is truth. This presentation is about the truth, about a salesperson. It's the truth. And once you reject this truth, you would keep suffering. You will never come out of this situation of stressful sales. You must acknowledge the fact that I don't like what I'm selling. Hey, so I need to either change jobs or start selling something I love, all that. But if you stay with that product you don't like, you won't go far. The second point I need to make is you must know what people want to buy for you to know who you should be selling to. I'll repeat that. You must know what people want to buy for you to know who to sell to. I want to say that again. You must know what people want to buy and what people are buying for you to know what to sell to. Listen, people do not necessarily or realistically buy your products or services. No, people buy what your product or service can do for them. There's a difference. People don't buy your products. People are not buying your goods and services. No. What they are exchanging their hard-earned cash for is what your goods and services can do for them. There are three things that people really do buy. The first one is solution to problems. So they'll buy your product if it is solving for them a problem that they have. Number two, answers to their needs. So they'll buy a product if it's offering an answer or meeting a need that they have. Now, if they do not think they have that need, they will not buy your product. So they're not buying your product because the product is beautiful, is well priced, and it's fancy, and it's nice. No, if they do not see it as a need, they are not buying it. So they're spending to answer a need. They are spending to solve a problem. The last but not the least is they are buying, they are spending because they want to feel good. They pay for good feeling. So people don't buy your goods and services. People buy solution to problems, they buy answers to needs, and they buy a good feeling of satisfaction. Let me explain this to you in a way that perhaps will help you understand by giving an example. You can buy a plate of rice in a canteen for 300 naira or 350 naira, and it's going to be wonderful, tastes lovely and nice, well made. 350 naira, and you're satisfied. You can also buy a plate of rice in a restaurant, a certain restaurant, for 1,700 plates of rice, perhaps even the same quantity and the same quality. But because it's a restaurant, you're paying 1,700 for the same plate of rice. And guess what? You can also buy the same plate of rice from a big hotel for 7,000 naira, the same rice. Why? The place of offer and presentation is different. One, a canteen, one, an eatery, and the last one, a hotel restaurant. You're buying rice, but the prices are different, but it's the same rice. So why would someone go sit in a restaurant of a hotel to pay 7,500 or 8,000 for a plate of rice that you can afford to buy for 350 naira and still be satisfied. Good feeling. Buying rice from a canteen is rice. Buying rice from a five-star hotel is rice. But why are people paying 7,500 instead of 350 naira? A good feeling. So people are not truly buying products or services. They're buying these three things: solution to problems, answers to their needs, and a good feeling of satisfaction. Don't ever forget this. This is the secret of successful salespeople. Don't ever forget it. Now, after you've been able to define these three and been able to identify it, so you say to yourself, how do I sell this to these people? How do I sell solution? How do I sell answers? How do I sell a good feeling of satisfaction? You sit down, and you can do it right now as you're listening. Pick up a piece of paper and a pen. What exactly is the purpose of your product or service? From the perspective of answers to needs, from the perspective of a solution to a problem, or perhaps that feeling, good feeling of satisfaction. Your product that you're selling, is it offering to the potential buyer a good feeling of satisfaction? Are you going to be selling your rice for 350 or you want to sell it for 8,000 naira? What do you want your rice, in quote, to do for the buyer? What do you intend to achieve with your product? Are you there offering this product to solve a problem? Are you answering a need? You must be able to tell beyond the product, the need you are meeting. Once your mind shifts from paying attention to your product and it shifts to meeting a need, solving a problem, or offering a feeling of satisfaction, your approach to sales will change instantly. So you must know exactly what you're selling, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to satisfy, because your communication going forward will be addressing those things as you're trying to sell. You won't just tell, our product is good, our product is nice, our product is the best quality, the price is good. That is what everybody, including your competitors, are telling these people. That's what they're saying. So you must be able to say to yourself, how do I intend to say things that are superior and things that are more persuasive and things that are more convincing to a potential buyer? So you need to determine who to really sell to by being able to know the purpose of your product and service. So do you need to determine who to really sell to? You must know and determine the following. Number one, what your product really does. You must know what exactly is the purpose of that product. You're selling purpose, not product. Purpose, not product. Purpose, not product. Purpose, not product. What exactly is the purpose of the product you're selling? What need was it created to meet? That's when you can really judge how good your product is. What need it's created to meet and what purpose it was created to serve. That's number one, what your product really does. Number two, how does it do it? How does it do it? Is it to satisfy hunger? Is it to meet a need? Is it to give a good feeling, your rice? How does it do it? This is the preferred way the buyer will want to be served. How would the buyer want to be served? Some of us have our products online when our real buyers don't want to buy online. They want to have a direct interaction. We always sell it. I have quite a number of colleagues, perhaps, if I can call them that are also into the business of fashion, like I'm into the business of fashion. And despite the fact that they have an online store, they still have a physical store in so many locations, and they would not shut down their physical stores because they have online stores. And I believe in that as well. And why? There's some customers that will never buy your offering, your clothes, your shoes, the belts and bags online. No, they want to come. They want to see it. They want to feel the fabric. They want to truly see the color. They want to wear it and test it and try it and know that, yes, this is what I want before they make payment. Because they believe that seeing it online may not give a true picture of what they're trying to buy. They can't feel the fabric online. They can't see the true color online. They don't know how heavy the clothing is online. They don't even know if the shoe will fit perfectly online. So they want to come to the shop. So you need to understand how exactly do they want to be served? This is the preferred way the buyer would want to be served. So the effect and impact of your product on the buyer, how does it make them feel when they use it? These are all things you need to be able to sit down, perhaps after now, and go through with your product and answer this question. So what I'm selling, am I selling shoes? Am I selling houses? Am I selling whatever? Am I selling tickets? What am I selling? How exactly would they want to be served? This could include your accessibility. How easy is it for them to find you? How easy is the speed of the transaction or exchange? How convenient is it? And all, there's so many factors. So you need to think, depending on the kind and type and nature of product you sell. You should think from the perspective of the buyer, not from the convenience of your office or the convenience of your supply chain. No, you need to put in place what will attract buyers at this time. Things are hard, things are difficult. You can't afford to be rigid with your processes and procedure. You would win with putting in place a standard operating procedure, but you will lose all your customers. And what is the essence of a standard procedure when the customers you're supposed to serve are no longer there for you? The customers are king, as popularly known, right? So number 3, how well does it do it? So there's one thing for you to say, okay, I'm meeting a need. I'm cooking rice and I'm selling rice for 350 naira. The environment where you're selling and you're serving, how beautiful, how comfortable, how prestigious, so to speak, is that environment? Because you cannot be selling rice in an environment where you should be selling for 350 naira and you want to charge 1,700 naira because in your mind, you think they should be able to buy it. Rice is rice. It is not. So how well does it do it? Whatever you're selling, how well does it do it? Let's even delve a bit into multi-level marketing. It is not enough to keep emphasizing the fact that sell and at the end of the year, you will go on international trip to different parts of the world. It's not enough. Say you get a reward for cars, you get a reward of land, you get a reward for this. You are inspiring and encouraging the force. You're encouraging the force to be more aggressive and perhaps even desperate to sell the product in multiple marketing. You're trying to ginger them, motivate them, and encourage them to sell by giving them all kinds of offers. But the truth is, if the product they're selling is not good enough, if it is not addressing the need of the potential end user, if it is too expensive for the potential end user, your downline, if I can put it that way, will suffer, because what they would always experience is perhaps after so much effort to sell, they will do sell, but there will be a repeat purchase, because after the person you are trying to persuade to buy does buy and they use it and they feel it's too expensive or it does not meet the need well enough, there's buyer's remorse and they see it as a waste of their money. So by the time your downline goes back to carry out a repeat sale, it will be met by a repeat purchase. No. The last time I bought, I didn't like it. No. So at the end of the day, you'll be working so hard. They'll be inspired by car reward, inspired by travel overseas and vacations and all that. And they'll be toiling at the end of the day because the products themselves are not in the kind of quality and perhaps SKUs. Those are the various sizes and packages and varieties that it should be. The market will resist it. The market will be adverse to it. The market will not accept it, and your network will suffer. The greatest strength of any network marketing is the quality and cost of the product. not the effort of the network members. If the products are good and the price is fantastic, you don't need to sweat so much to achieve so much. The money put behind travel for vacation, get a car reward if it's used to improve the quality of the product, and the network members sell more, they'll be happy. After all, whatever the case is, everybody's in it for money. So it's about how well it does it. Coming to our third point, this is the quality of satisfaction that they get, the satisfaction rate of the product, not the sweat and the labor and the effort of the salesman. So a good product will sell itself, I promise you. A well-priced, good product will sell itself. So does it meet the expectation of the end user and the buyer? At the end, does it? It should. Then number 4, at what cost is it going to do it? And this has to do with affordability. And this is critical in choosing who you're selling to. Because to some people, what you consider affordable to them is expensive. And to some other people, what you consider expensive is quite affordable. So at the end of the day, how much they have to pay for it is critical. It's not just in financial cost, but also even the ease of purchase. How easy is it for me? Some days ago, I placed an order for food. I saw the food online and I liked it, and I placed the order for the food. And they told me the cost of the food is this, but the cost of delivery was 50% of the cost of the food, which made it crazy. So I ordered a meal that is 3,500 naira, and the cost of delivery is about 1,500. So at the end of the total cost to me, yeah, the seller or the supplier can say, no, my food is just 3,500. But the truth is the total cost to me to eat that meal that afternoon was about 5,000 naira. It's too expensive. So it is not just the cost of what you sell, it's the total cost of delivering the package that is critical. Many people look at things they sell from the perspective of the cost of the product. They also don't look at the cost and ease of purchase. So these are critical things you should look at. So after we've been able to determine that and the things you should look at, this is the last leg of our content outline. What are the effective steps in achieving a sale? So I believe by now, for a short recap, you already know that what is critical for you to know is in these hard times, you must sell what you love. If your spirit does not connect with the product, the energy around your sales effort will be negative. I say that again, if your spirit is not delighted in the product you sell, the energy that will attract customers will be absent. It will be negative energy. So as you enter rooms, as you meet with people and all that stuff, there's already a resistance. There's an atmosphere of resistance, and you're the one generating it because your spirit does not delight in what you're selling. So it's either you change what you're selling to start selling what you love to sell, or you change your line of business to start selling what you love to sell. If the passion, the excitement, the feel, the will to wake up the next day and keep going is not there, my friend, you will not do well. And the second thing that we've been able to do in the second line of the second content outline is what people really buy. They're not buying your goods and services. They are buying what? Solution. They're buying what? Answers to need, and they're buying what? That feeling of satisfaction. Critical. So these are the things you now need to do in this time, this hard times. How do you sell? Yeah, the effective steps in achieving a sale. And I'll share this with you. In this hard times, what are the effective steps in achieving a sale? Prospecting. So let me show you the steps. These are the, perhaps this is when you should start writing, and and all that. Prospecting. Who are they? Where are they? How can I reach them? When can I reach them? Who are they? Where are they? How can I reach them? When can I reach them? Now, this is the frustration of a lot of salespeople today. Whether you're a salesman, you belong to a sales force, or you own a shop, or you own an outlet, or you own a business of your own, your buyers, who are they? Where are they? How can you reach them? When can you reach them? Now, ladies and gentlemen, the whole concept of textbook sales ideologies and all in practice is not going to work in hard times. You can't just be out there just looking for anybody and looking for anyone that looks like it. No, it's not about, let me talk, this person looks like the person can buy, or that person looks like she can buy, or this, no, 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 you don't do that. You can't afford to just enter to the marketplace with a scattergun approach to sales. You will labor and work so hard and have nothing to show for your efforts. There's more to selling now. It's become different. So what is the approach? If you need to know who they are, if you want to know where they are, if you want to know how to reach them and when to reach them, you need to activate now this approach. First and foremost, who really needs your product now? You must answer that question. Men, women, youth, old, people in paid employment, people in self-employment, business owners, who? Children. Who are the people that really need your product now? I didn't say who are the people that need your product. Who are the people that really need, not want? Who are the people that really need your product now? You was able to say it. Now look, who are the people that really do need your product now? And stop talking to everybody, hoping and praying and wishing they will buy or patronize. No, you must be clear about the people that really, really, really need your product now. That's one question. Now, if you've been able to write them down, okay, these are the kind of people, describe them. They live in this area, they're of this age bracket, and this is the reason why they really need my product right now. The next question you must answer is, can they afford it? And that goes back to you being able to fine-tune and focus and select a target audience that will not be a waste of your time and effort. Number one question, critical question to ask is, who are the people that really need your product now? Number two, can they afford it? So how do you know if they can afford it? And that moves you to the second level of your activities now to be able to sell in difficult times. You need to research your prospect. Many of us guess and speculate our prospects. This person is rich, I should be able to buy. This person is, no. The time of speculating and guesses are over. This is the time to research your prospects. So what you do, for example, is write down the name of someone you are speculating. I think this person can buy. Once you write down the person's name as someone that is a potential buyer, don't just go or walk up to the person and say, come and buy my product. I have this product that I want you to buy and all that stuff. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Pause, hold on, and research that individual. You do your research on media and in real life. Media research and in real life. So look at the person, then go on social media and begin to investigate where they go now. Where did they go now? Where did they visit now? So you can tell where they go, where they visit. You begin to monitor, okay, they go to this place. So you can actually be able to tell how they move. Now, where they go now will also be able to tell you to an extent their perhaps potential in being able to afford what you're selling. So if today they're in a five-star hotel, tomorrow they are in another five-star hotel, they're eating at a high-class restaurant. If you look at them and where they're going right now, you'll be able to tell and say that yes, okay, where they're going right now shows that they still have some money on them that they can spend on some stuff, right? Now, the second thing you check on social media and perhaps in real life, if you have somebody that's close to them or you're close to them and all that, observe what they do now. What do they do? So if today the person is jetting out of the country, coming back from the country, going to a vacation spot, going to chill at this, going to a restaurant, going to a bar, going to the spa, going to have all the fun in this world. Okay, the person is looking good to have perhaps that money in this hard time to be able to buy a product, perhaps, you know. So what do they do now? Number three, where they shop now. as you check and you investigate, perhaps you will see what they're wearing. And sometimes they may put up videos and pictures and information about what they've bought and where they bought it. And at times, really, this is the time when you need to be on your feet and move close to see what people do. You can't afford to sit in the corner and be in your office and only step out when you want to go and sell. You must create time now to research and investigate your potential buyer before you pitch or before you talk to them. So when you leave the office, we're going to sell, we're going to carry out sales and all that. You shouldn't be returning to the office and say, okay, so I spoke to 3 people. No, you should be able to give a report even on your investigative effort endeavor. So the person does this. So you investigate your prospect. What are they buying now? What the person is buying now will tell you if your product category perhaps can be included in what they'll be willing to spend on even now. If the person is paying for just school fees and rents and just food and clothes, you know that some luxury things perhaps is not what they're considering right now. But whilst you are investigating them, you see that they're spending on luxury products and some fancy products and all that, you know, okay, perhaps this person will buy. Then you watch also, are they attending certain occasions and certain events, and how are they attending? How frequently are they there? So from your research of the prospect, maybe based on your visit to social media to check them out, or an attempt to even be close to their moves and all that and the things they do, you find this out, you will now be able to tell that, okay, perhaps this is a good prospect, or this is a prospect that is likely going to deliver to me a good return on my sales endeavor. That's a critical one. So based on your findings, you now know, will they buy your product now? So someone you investigated today that doesn't look likely, may look likely in another 5-6 months. So you, based on your findings, you can judge and say to yourself, will they buy your products now? Are they buying your kind of product or similar ones from other people now? Are they buying your competitors' clothes, kind of products and all that stuff? And can they afford yours now? So from that, you'll be able to know if you should move in or just ignore and not just chase a wild goose chase. No, you know, that kind of thing. So what do you do next? You build rapport. You build rapport. So once you are able to determine that this person is a good prospect, the next thing you do is what? Build a rapport. And building a rapport is attracting or approaching the prospect. Attracting or approaching the prospect. What do you use? Compliments, comment, help, suggest, or ask questions. So let me paint a clear picture with an illustration. Once you have obtained sufficient and correct information about your target, make sure you create an opportunity to be in their space. Look at where they go to, look at what they do, where they hang out. Make sure you look for an opportunity to be in their space, not an opportunity to have a meeting with them. An opportunity to be what? In their space. So he plays golf on certain days, be there. Oh, he goes to this restaurant, he hangs out at this spot. Oh, she goes to this place. Oh, she's in this fellowship. Oh, you look for an opportunity to be in their space, not to have a meeting with them. Look, many of us salespeople just assume that these people want to sell to are not so intelligent. Once you approach me with the whole salesman aura and the whole salesman professional thing, I already have my walls up. Once I see you coming and I know that you want to sell me something, I've already said no in my mind. Because I know the only reason why you're coming to me is because you want me to buy something. So it's more difficult to convince me because my antennas are up and my wall is already up. So don't approach somebody you want to sell to with the exclusive and sole reason of, come and buy this from me. Most times you will not succeed. So what you should do is create an opportunity to be in their space. Find out how they walk, how they work, what they do. Find their space. Like the image here suggests, someone perhaps does her morning walk or does her jogging every morning or 3 times a week. Buy a jogging kit and make sure as they're jogging, you're around the place. Hello, your hair is nice. Oh my goodness, I like your clothes. I like your jacket. Comment, compliment, and say something that will make them smile. So the real intention is to sell something but your first comment to them must not be what you want to sell. Say something that will break down the wall of defense, make them open up to you. Compliment. Compliments always work. So create an opportunity to be in their space and start a conversation with a compliment, a suggestion, or a helping hand if the chance of a helping hand presents itself. If someone's not asking for your help on something, don't force it. But I promise you, compliments would always work. I like your hair. Oh, I like your smile. Oh, well done. You're trying. Whatever it is, a compliment would always help. And it opens you up to strangers. Compliments starts off friendship than many things else in this world. It's a major way of striking the friendship. Compliment. So, oh, sorry, I like your hair. I like your hair. Okay, so nice. Sorry, my name is Muiwa. You just start a conversation. You start with a compliment. Now, from there, conversation will move on to different things. So you begin to discuss and carry on the conversation. As the salesperson, you must know how to talk, essentially. So if you're not someone that can talk, man, I don't know about your sales effort. So you look at them and see how you can help in solving a personal problem they may be having. Now, this may have nothing to do with what you're selling. For example, I'm trying to find this hotel. I'm trying to find this stuff. I'm trying to find that. And you find it for them on your phone and you send them a message and say, okay, I found the location for you and all that. For example, I'm looking for a lesson teacher for my child. I'm looking for a music teacher for my child. Go out of your way, get a lesson teacher, get and recommend, solve a personal problem that will cost them nothing. Solve a personal problem. I'm trying to do this. Okay, my car is stressing me. I need to get a mechanic that can help me fix my car. Get a mechanic. Solve a personal problem. Let them begin to see you beyond just someone that passed or made complimented me. Let them begin to see you as someone that can be useful to help in solving the problem. Make recommendations and advice. The next thing, share some personal information about yourself, not your job or what you sell. Please don't make that mistake. Share some personal information about yourself. So I work with this organization does not mean I'm in sales department. You can also be in finance, you can be a director, you can be at the factory. You don't have to say I'm in sales. So share some personal information about yourself. Oh, I'm a mother. No, I'm a father. Oh, I do this. Oh, I'm from here, I'm from there, and all that stuff. Share personal information, good ones, positive ones about yourself. Then listen. Most of the time, listen and allow them to talk. Please, I plead with you, avoid controversial topics. Avoid topics about politics, avoid topics about tribe, avoid topics about religion. Every time they go there, get out of it. Get out of that conversation. Have no opinion. Have no comment about religion, about politics, about ethnicity, about tribe. Don't go into that area. Don't go to that terrain. Just stay in the place of conversations that are generic. Talk sports, talk beauty, talk clothing, talk values, talk beautiful things, movies, Z-World, anything, but avoid sensitive topics. So share some personal information about yourself, not your job and not your skills. So listen to them talk and allow them to talk. I've said this before. Avoid conversations about how tough things are. This is critical. I can't emphasize this enough. Avoid conversations about, things are so hard in Nigeria. Things are so expensive. Inflation is this. Once you get to that zone, you are trapping yourself because you cannot tell somebody that you have already agreed with that things are difficult to bring money. So any conversation that is painting or highlighting how tough things are, please avoid it. Please always come out of it. Take them out of it. Always take them out of it. Then be there for them in a cost-free or not so expensive way. Be there for them. If you realize this person actually does love books, you can Perhaps lend them a book or buy them a book you think they will love. If the person is a movie person, buy them good movies, send to them good movies that can share. If the person is complaining about, I need this kind of medication, buy them the medication at no cost. Household items, just give them something. Gift always makes way for people. Gift will always make way for you. Your gift will always make way for you. Give them a gift, a pack of handkerchief, kitchen towel, something that is not outrageous, that does not look like, what is this? Something, a pack of tissue, hand towel, whatever it is, Kleenex, something that you can just give that is not outrageous. Just give them something to remember you by. You're already penetrating and accessing their subconsciousness and positioning yourself appropriately to be what? Trusted. So let them feel you're sincerely there for them. Earn trust. Remember, the ultimate goal is to sell. But before they buy from you, they must trust you. And all this you're doing so that they want at the end of the day, trust you. Now, these days, sales is not something that you rush. Make sure every sales effort delivers result. Every sales effort must deliver what? Result. There's no point running from the start of the year to the end of the year, chasing 1,000 prospects and not delivering one. It's better to go after 20 and deliver all the 20. Go after 30 and deliver all the 30 than to go after 1,000 and deliver none. Take your time. Be professional, be strategic, be deliberate. Stop wasting your time, effort, sweat, and English trying to persuade and convince people that don't even believe in you. Before you can sell in hard times, the first thing you must sell or buy is trust. Build a relationship. People don't buy products or goods and services, even from their siblings and family members. I promise you that. They don't even buy products because the product is nice. They don't buy products because it is affordable. They don't buy products because of all that. They buy products from people that they trust. You can bet me on this. When women leave home to the market to go and buy foodstuff, they don't just enter the market and buy yams and buy beans and buy rice and buy pepper. They all have who they refer to as their customer. So there might be 200 people selling pepper in the market. They have their customer. On the basis of what? Trust, no matter how little. Trust. I want to buy 2 bags of yam. Where are you going to? I have a customer. Trust. I want to buy hair extension. Where are you going? I'm going far. Why are you going that far? Trust. I have a customer. Every remark or statement that says I have a customer is subtly telling you there's somebody that I trust. Sales cannot happen or cannot be sustained if trust is missing. So if you want to sell now, the first thing you must build is a degree or a level of trust. That's how it will work. Then the next thing that you need to do, the next step is what? Identify needs. Now, listen, you still, even after you've done all this, don't go to them and say, I'll build the trust. Okay, I sell this, so I sell that, I sell Ankara, I sell lace, I sell clothes, I sell shoes, I sell bag, I sell spare parts. Don't tell them what you sell. Don't. If you do that, okay, was that the reason why you gave me a book? Or was that the reason, this person has been planning for me? They would easily begin to interpret your motive for that familiarity. Don't tell them outrightly what you sell. Identify their needs and try to see how you can key into the conversation what you sell by allowing them to speak and drive the conversation. So let them speak, listen to what they're saying. And at that point in time, from the conversation that they started, right, and the things they have said, connect it to what you sell. So sell what they want, not what you think they want. And let me tell you the approach. So let them speak. Then wait for an opportunity for them to mention anything whatsoever that's connected to what you sell. Let them speak. At times, you may need to drive the conversation in a particular direction, but ensure that you don't land on them what you sell. Let them be the one to start the conversation, initiate the discussion, or make mention of something that is close or exactly what you sell. If you must direct the conversation, like I said, towards what you sell, then you can start a debate, not an argument, a debate, not an argument, a debate. And the debate is, what do you think about this? Oh, I think it is this. Oh, what do you think? Oh, I believe it is this. No argument, a debate. So start a debate to obtain as much as you can about their views, their interests, their preferences, their past experiences, their opinions, and even how much they are willing to pay for what you sell. Don't tell them you're into it. You sell land, you sell property, you're into network marketing, let the conversation. What do you think about network marketing? I can't do it. The last time I was in, it was terrible. I went through this, I went through that. They filmed me at this, they filmed me at that. Let them talk. Oh, no, I can't go into fashion. It's not good. This and that. Oh, insurance. Let them say it. Then you can raise questions and objections. There is a debate, not an argument. But I've also seen somebody that went into network marketing, actually built a house. Are you serious? Yes. I also saw somebody that bought a car with network marketing. Some people are making money. But for me, it was this, it was that. It is still not yet a right time to say, I'm in it. It's a debate. And the purpose of the debate is for you to know their mind, their views, their interests, their preferences, their past experiences, their opinion, and even how much they will want to pay for the product. Never, never argue. Just take a mental note of everything they say. Then afterwards, go home. Compare the information you have from them with your product type and see where there's a match or where there's a miss. Consider their likes and dislikes and compose a conversation in your head to present your product in a way that they will perfectly love it. That's how to work it. So it is not when they are objecting or they're criticizing or raising issues about a similar thing you do or what you sell. They say, me too, I'm in it. And I know, you know me, I'm in it. Don't do that. Permit them to express their fears, raise their objections and all that. Don't rush and lose. Take your time. Take your time. So calm down. So after you've taken from them information about their thoughts and their imaginations and views, go home, sit down and compare their information with the nature of your product, the nature of what you do and what you sell. Remember, the purpose of your product is to meet a need, solve a problem, or offer a good feeling. From their feedback, you can easily position your product for either the purpose of meeting a need, satisfying a feeling that they want to have, or even solving a problem. It will help you because you have information. So at the end, what next do you need to do? You present. You present. This is the introduction of your product based on the information you've gathered from your conversation and debate. So present from what they said was their need, their pain, their frustration, or confusion. So don't sell to them. The things they have said. Remember, Mrs. This, you said this, yeah? Remember, Mr. This, you said this, yeah? Remember, you said this, you said that, you said this, you said that. Yes, I did. But look at my own product. Look at our own product. We have actually done this. We have done that. Oh, okay. So immediately you are offering solution to their quarrels, their problems, and their arguments. So you're not speaking to them. You're not talking at them. You are solving a problem because they raised it as objections. They raised it as problems. You are now actually solve it by bringing answers, by bringing solutions. They would naturally open up to you because they did what? They confessed to you. So never make a reference to anything they did not tell you personally. Don't do that. Don't say, I heard. Maybe whilst you were doing your investigation, you saw something on social media or somebody said something to you about them when you were checking them out. Don't come and say, I even discovered that you are this, or that. The person will begin to suspect you. So don't go there. Don't ever make a reference to the fact that you had back-checked them. Or no, don't do that. Make sure that your feedback that will encourage them to buy what you're presenting is based on the things they told you personally. Now, highlight the great points of superior difference and how you're sure they need the solution you have brought or the answer you are bringing to the table. That's what I said earlier. So you said this, but ours is better at this, better at this, better at that, better at this. Do more on how your product will help them personally and less of how great your product is. We're fantastic, we're this. Of course, nobody wants that chest beating. They'll just look at a salesperson, I know your type. No, refer to their problems as the reason why you're selling, their personal, unique issues and objection. Don't blow the trumpet of how fantastic your product is or your company is, or let it be them discerning that by themselves. Just address their personal problems. Give room also for them to ask questions and answer sincerely and truthfully. Yeah. So you said your own does not have this. No. Oh, your own has this also. Yes. Oh, you guys also have this. Yes. Truthfully and sincerely. What you can't deliver, don't promise. What you don't have, don't promise. You can say, yeah, we're working on that, and in a couple of days or in a couple of months, we'll be able to deliver that. But don't ever say you have what you do not have. Don't make a promise based on what you can deliver. You do not erode a trust you have used days and weeks of hard work to build. Don't do that. Never lie. Be truthful. Then offer options in product composition and price if possible. So if you have the big size, you have the medium size, you have the smaller size, don't force them to buy the biggest size because you want to hit your sales target. No. Give them the opportunity to try. If they want to, okay, let me just buy one now. They say, no, you need to buy 5. No. Buy one, then repeat purchase. You grow them and retain them as your regular customers, as it were. Offer options in product composition and price if possible, and recommend what you believe is best for them. Don't try to manipulate them. Say, yeah, madam, you have money now, buy the biggest. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Sales is mostly about trust. Earn the trust. Earn the trust. Okay, so after that, you answer objections, you close a sale and ask for referrals, and that's simply how to end it. So in answering their objections, like I said, simply highlight the difference in where they are now. It's no longer about the product. It's not about them. You're not using our product, but when you start using your product, you'll become this. You'll become this. You'll become that. People want progress in life. So once you begin to speak to them from the perspective of progress, your company will become more successful. Your company will become more productive. Your employees will become more successful. Your employees will become more efficient. Your health will become better. Your fashion style will become better. Your shoes will become, you just speak to them from where they are and where they're going to be. Make sure you drive home the fact that it is in their life to make their lives better, not to help them spend their money. They'll see it from a different perspective. So if you speak to them from, we're not expensive, you're already missing it. During these hard times. No, don't speak about the cost or the price. Speak about what the product will do to them, not how much they're paying. So their attention is, I want to become this. That's why I'm spending this money. Not that I want to become this, or not that I want to spend this money because I want this product. No, it takes their attention away from the product to themselves. So I'm paying for progress, for transformation, to transition, to improvement, to growth. Let it be there. Then ask for financial commitment in part or in full, and advise that they pay in good time as the demand for it is high and the available quantity or opportunities a bit scarce. Don't threaten that if you don't buy now, by tomorrow it's finished. It's okay, I'm not buying, don't worry, I'll do it. So don't threaten, just advise. I think you should buy it now. I think you'll like it now. You already know they can afford it. You've done your research. So just persuade them. Say, do it now. Then with time, okay, it may not be immediately. Not be when they bought. So after they've bought and used, you can ask, okay, do you have a friend that may also need what I'm selling? You know, that kind of thing. And not only have you gained a customer, you have gained a friend. This whole sales approach is to help you gain a friend that trusts you. Why? Because one of the strengths of a good salesman is customer base. And customer base keeps expanding and growing based on trust. And is to ensure that nobody is able to snatch your customer from you because they trust you. Now, when you have a good relationship with your buyers, even when you make mistakes, even when your product is not good enough, they won't leave you. They will tell you, I bought your soap the other day. Oh, I bought your this. It wasn't good. We're so sorry. We'll fix it. That's a good customer. A bad customer is the one that won't give you a feedback. We'll just move on ahead. But if there's a relationship with you, more than your product, they will not go away. They will give you a feedback, and that's why you need to build trust. So being a fantastic salesman is not in your ability to just hit the numbers. Hit the numbers. It's in your ability to expand your customer base. It's in not chasing the money. It's in chasing the people that will keep giving you the money continuously. It's not in I sold one, I sold two. It's in I've gained one, I've gained two. Who are the people you're gaining? Customers that trust you, buyers that trust you, potential buyers that you have converted to regular buyers. That's basically what the high idea is. So even in these hard and difficult times, they will not look elsewhere. They will not look at other places. They will still, on the basis of the trust they have for you and the relationship you have, keep patronizing you. And hey, things are difficult, but you're my customer. What can I do? There's a relationship. There is a bonding. There is a friendship that has developed over time. Success is more important than effort. It's about how you finish it. So don't go out there rushing, panicking, pressured up, praying, hey, God, help me today. Just take your time. Take your time and plan this thing and see how it will work. So what are the points to note as I draw this to a close? Your potential buyers are human beings and are as intelligent and sometimes more intelligent than you. Don't insult their intelligence by just walking up to them and saying, hey, I want to sell this to you. I want to sell that to you. No. They'll shut down. They won't respond to you. Number two, they know from the get-go if your intention is to sell or to genuinely be of help. They know. If you're there to help yourself, or to help them, they know. Don't take them for granted. Number three, they mostly give you their money because they're impressed with you and not just with your product. So you must make them buy you, not just your product. If they're impressed with you, they will buy your product. Number four, avoid relationship terrains, conversations and discussions that will suggest anything other than a candid will to be of help. Candid will to be of help. So you're there to be of help. You're there to be of help to them, not to take advantage of them. Number five, be cordial, be professional, and be respectable. Don't dress crass. Don't talk cheap. Don't be too forward. Know your limits and your boundaries. And remember your purpose and intention. Number six, in sales, cash is everything. Effort means nothing. It's not in the number of prospects. It's really about conversion. Be patient, be meticulous, be deliberate, be calculating, and deliver all your prospects. Number seven, never assume. Always research your prospect before you move in on them. If not, you will end up wasting your precious time and resources. And remember, it's never in the looks. Facts are usually not that obvious. So, action points. I close. So what do you do now? What are you selling? A need, a solution, or a good feeling? Number two, list about 10 potential prospects you want to research and investigate before you sell to. Do that now. Number three, activate your investigation plan. How do you want to do it? Where do you want to do it? When do you want to do it? And through who do you want to do it? Number four, estimate how much these 10 prospects can deliver in record time. And in record time of you converting each one of them, basically. So if I convert 10, how much would they bring? 100 million, 20 million, 40 million, that kind of thing. Then focus on these 10 prospects and ignore others. Avoid the distraction. Just focus this 10. Make sure you nail it. If an opportunity comes, I can just take it as you go. Good. But don't be distracted from this 10. Focus on them and deliver them. Number six, once in your course of investigating, a prospect falls short in ability and capacity to buy or pay, quickly replace with another potential prospect. Don't exceed 10 at once. Just replace. And don't let the 10 come down to 3. Just keep replacing. Make sure you're working with 10 at the same time or working on 10 at the same time. And number seven, as you close a sale with a prospect, replace with another potential prospect. Stay at 10. Stay at 10. And finally, start applying this strategy now. Start applying this strategy now. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I believe you learned one or two things from this content that has to do with sales, training package, Frontiers Consulting. That's what we're about. So we coach you and we teach you, particularly when it has to do with sales and marketing topics and titles and abilities and competencies. And we are driven by sharing real, practical, applicable ideologies and concepts that will work. That's what we'll do and all that. So for more content that will help you, for more personal development and skill improvement packages, you can reach us on 0802-569-6670. That's if you're in Nigeria. Outside of Nigeria, that's +234 802-569-6670. +234 802-569-6670. Or you can shoot me a mail via my website. That's www.muiwaafolabiglobal.com. You can reach us through there. You can also visit our website. That's frontiersconsulting.net, www.frontiersconsulting.net. I want to thank you for spending and sharing this time with us. I hope we've added value to you in one way or the other. My name is Muiwa Afolabi, your host on this particular experience, saying thank you so much and have a lovely time. God bless.